Hi builders, Pranav here. Welcome back. Today we are getting hands-on with live X402 APIs on mainnet. We'll be interacting with Pinata's X402 service to upload a file to IPFS, and we'll be handling the payments using Coinbase Java platform wallets and the X402 Axios service. Pinata allows you to pin data to IPFS, and the X402 integration means you can access the service programmatically on-chain with base mainnet USDC. The process looks something like this. First, the client requests upload permission from the Pinata API service to the post API URL, and the Pinata API service responds with the 402 payment required pool. Then the client makes the payment with USDC, and the CDP wallet responds with the payment proof. Once that is done, client retries the payment with the same post API, but this time with the payment proof. The Pinata API responds with the pre-signed upload URL. Using this pre-signed upload URL, you can upload a file to IPFS and get the IPFS hash in return to access this file on IPFS. That's what this process looks like. In this video, we'll be setting up a Node.js client for mainnet X402 interactions, initializing a CDP wallet and managing the funding step, using X402 Axios for payments with CDP wallets, and interacting with X402's two-step process to upload a file to IPFS. Important note, this demo involves base mainnet transactions with real USDC. Pinata's pricing is per GB, but even small uploads will incur a minimum charge. Always make sure you're handling your mainnet funds securely and also the wallet secrets securely as well. Let's dive in and ping some data responsibly. X402. So first of all, let's quickly initialize our project. So I am already on my terminal. I will just quickly create a project directory from a project. It's 402 flowing. Once it is done, we'll just navigate to a project folder. And we'll quickly initialize a Node.js project as well. Once that is done, we'll install the dependencies required for our project. So we have to first install the Axios and X402 Axios libraries for the handling of the X402 APIs. Then we have the Coinbase CDP SDK library for the Coinbase developer platform initialization and their management. Then we have .env libraries for environment variables and form data for uploading and managing files. Then we have VM for our blockchain interactions and Readline for managing user prompts. So once that is done, we'll hit the enter command and we'll install the dependencies. So now we'll install the dev dependencies and set up TypeScript for our project. So let's quickly install the dev dependencies as well. So we'll be installing TypeScript and TS Node dev dependencies and the types for node and form data as dev dependencies. So let's hit enter over here and install the dev dependencies. So once that is done, let's initialize TypeScript for our project as well. So we'll simply run the command npm/init. So we are done with the TS configuration as well. So we are done with our project initialization. Now let's move on to developing the logic for our main Node.js script. And now I'm here on my cursor ID. So let's do some quick prerequisites that would be needed for a Node.js client script. So first of all, let's create the SRC folder. And then let's create the main script over here. So I'll just X402 to pinata.ts. So the main logic would reside in this file. Once that is done, we'll quickly create the .env file for our environment variables and also create a .env.example file to show you the basic template of this environment variables. So I already have the template over here. So first of all, you will need the CDP credentials for wallet management and mainnet payment. So you would need this Coinbase Java platform credentials so that you can successfully initialize the CDP wallet in your script and use it for mainnet payments. So you can get this CDP credentials from the Coinbase Java platform portal. So you can get all of these credentials from there itself. So we have the CDP API key ID. Then we have the CDP API key secret and the word secret. After that, we have the Pinata X402 API configuration. So we would add the Pinata X402 base URL and the Pinata X402 pin public path. So these are the env variables that you would need for this program. So now let's get started with the main X402 Pinata client setup. So we already have the project set up with the SOC folder, the environment variables and the packages. So now let's set up the imports for the script. So first of all, we'll set up the imports. I already have the imports over here. So we'll first use the Coinbase CDP SDK package and import CDP client from there for setting up CDP wallets v2 in our project. Next, we have Axios for API management and .env for environment variables management. And next, we have two accounts from VM accounts. So basically, in this script, we would be converting the CDP account to a VM account format and then passing it to the X402 packages. So that's why we are using this import over here. And next we have the import decode payment response and payment interceptor from X402 Axios package and form data for setting up the data that would be sent to IPFS. Now we will set up the environment variables, and after that we would set up the main function for the script. So now let's set up the environment variables. So we'll load the environment variables using .env, set up all of the environment variables, CDP API credentials and Pinata credentials as well. And then a small check to make sure that all of the environment variables are configured. And if not, so exit the script and the script will basically stop working. After that, we would have the main function where all of the main logic would reside. So basically, we will be doing this step by step, where first we would set up the CDP accounts and then we would move on to the Pinata configuration. Now, let's set up our main function. So first step in the main function would be to set up the CDP client and initialize or get an account from the CDP SDK. I already have the code over here for the step one. So first of all, we'll do some basic console logs and then we'll initialize CDP client and wallet using const CDP client, setting up a new CDP client. And next we'll set up this server account. So we'll be using cdp client.evm.get or create account. And this is one of the accounts which already has base mainnet USDC. That's why I'm using get or create account. We already have some base mainnet USDC over here for this demo. So make sure that your account is funded with base mainnet USDC, as this Pinata setup takes base mainnet USDC for pinning files to IPFS. It's a very small amount of USDC, so no need to worry about costs or anything like that. So next we would convert CDP account to VM account format. So basically this is a very important step to make sure that the account format is properly set up before we move to the X402 and Pinata setup. So we will be setting up account using two account and we will be passing the CDP server account over here. And next we will just console log the wallet address. Make sure that we get the wallet address from the console logs as well. Now let's set up the Pinata API and the X402 Axios instance. So basically for the next step would be to set up the payment interceptor using X402 Axios. So I already have the code over here. So basically we'd be creating an Axios instance with the payment interceptor. And the base URL would obviously be Pinata base URL, and we would be using the account which we converted over here. So this will be a VM account, and once that is done, we can now move on to creating the file content and the next configurations for Pinata script. So now let's set up the file content. So we already have the code. We'll be basically doing a normal text pinning over here to the IPFS. I'll just add the code over here. So step 3 would be to prepare file content. So what we'll be doing is that we would have a basic file content over here, normal text with the random UUID, and we'll set this up as a file buffer because Pinata takes the buffer format instead of normal format. And next we will be console logging this to get the file details from the console log. Next we will set up the Pinata client, and we'll be sending this data to IPFS using X402. So now once we are done with the steps, now the next step would be to requesting the pre-signed URL from Pinata, and then we'll be using this pre-signed URL to upload this file content to IPFS. So the step 4 would be to request the pre-signed URL. So I already have the code over here. So let's go through this and see how the request for pre-signed URL works. So we'll be using the X402 API.post method to get the pre-signed response, and here we will be using the Pinata ping path. So we have already set up this in the environment variables, and we would be attaching the file size. So basically we will be including the file size. So we'll be using file buffer.length to get the file size, and in the headers we'll keep it to application JSON. So this would get us the pre-signed response from Pinata, and we will console log this just to make sure that the script is working properly. Using the logs we can identify where the current script is. And next we'll check for the payment info. So basically we'll be using the normal X402 steps. So here we get the pre-signed URL, and then we decode the pre-signed URL at get and check for the payment info. So we'll be using const X payment header to get the X payment response header. So this would be the one which would have all of the payment info for this URL. And if there is any X payment header, we decode this X payment response. So we'll be using decode X payment response method over here to get the payment info, and we'll be console logging this. And If there is a transaction, we'll console log the transactions as well. And once that is done, we will also set up a normal try catch block as well to make sure that if there are any errors, we are able to identify them using logs. So once this is done, we will get the pre-signed URL, and using this pre-signed URL, we can upload a file to IPFS. So now once we are done with the main pre-signed URL step, the final step would be to upload the data to IPFS. So I already have the code over here. So let's go through this code and see how the file uploading works. So first of all, we'll set up the pre-signed URL. So we'll use pre-signed response.data.url, and we'll set up a small check as well to make sure that the pre-signed URL was present before moving to the next step. And we'll do some normal console logs. Next, we'll create the form data which would be sent to IPFS. So we'll be using the form data import over here, and we'll be using a normal form data.append function over here. We'll be using the file buffer, and we'll be setting up the file name. So in this case, it would be demo.txt, and the content type is text name because there is no other type of content over here. Is just normal text with a UUID response. And once we have set up the form data, we'll finally upload this file using axios.post method. We're using the pre-signed URL, the form data as the data to be uploaded to IPFS, and the headers. So we'll be using form data.get headers over here, and others as well, such as max body length and max content length. So once the upload file code is done, we'll just do some normal console logs, and here we'll set up the upload response data as well. So we'll stringify the response and show it in the console. So now we are done with all of the steps for this X402 Pinata client. So the final step would be to check for the IPFS hash on the response. So basically, we'll be using this IPFS hash to retrieve the content which we have actually uploaded to IPFS. So we'll be checking for the IPFS hash in response, and we'll be constructing the URLs using this IPFS hash to retrieve the content. So already have the code over here. So basically, we'll check for the IPFS hash in response. So we'll be destructuring the data. So we will try to get the CID response from this hash, and I have also kept some fallbacks over here in a case if there is another data format such as IPFS hash or anything like that. So but the main would be to get the CID from this response, and if there is a CID available, it will show us some success logs, and it will give us some logs with constructed URLs so that we can get this data from IPFS. And next we have some error handling over here. So basically we have to make sure that if there are any errors, there is proper error handling for those errors, and all of those errors are properly shown in the console logs so that we can use this console logs to solve those errors. So once that is done, we have done with the main logic for this X402 Pinata client, and now we just have to set up the main function, and then we can demo this to see if this works or not. So now we are done with the main script logic of X402 Pinata client, and now we can move on to testing this code and see if it works properly or not. So I have added a small piece of code. So basically this will trigger the main function. So to run the demo, we will trigger the main function with a catch error logic if there are any errors, console error, and exit the process. So we are done with the code. Now let's test this code out and see how it works. So in the package.json, I have already defined the scripts. So let's run the scripts one by one. So first of all, we'll build the TypeScript file. Next, let's run the JavaScript file from the dish folder for X402 Pinata TypeScript file. So basically, it will set up the Pinata X402 client with base URL pin path. Next, it will show us the wallet address. It will show us the file details. Hello from X402. UUID is this. So then it will request the pre-signed URL from Pinata. We got the pre-signed URL was obtained. This was successful. We got the response data as well. Now using this pre-signed URL, we uploaded the file to Pinata. The file upload was complete as well. We got the response data as well with all of these parameters, and we were able to successfully pin the file to IPFS as well. So in this wallet address, I already had some base mainnet USDC. I will also show you here in the Basecamp. So here you can check we already had some base mainnet USDC over here. Apart from that, let's check if the IPFS pinning was successful or not. So let's check this using Pinata Gateway. I'll just copy this. Let's paste this over here. And that's it. We were successfully able to use X402 to pin a file to IPFS using Pinata. So basically now we can programmatically pin file to IPFS without going through any hassles or any long processes. You just need to use Explorer to pin other server to pin any file to IPFS using this method. So this is just one of the few examples. There are many other Explorer servers out there which allows you to programmatically access this API and use this API in easy ways without any hassles or any long due processes. Interacting with live Explorer services like Pinata using programmable wallets is extremely powerful for automated workflows. Explore further. Go to the official explorer2.org website to know more about Explorer 2, and also make sure to check out Pinata's official Explorer 2 documentation to know more about Explorer 2 and Pinata implementation. Also check out Coinbase's Explorer 2 GitHub repository as well as Coinbase Java platform documentation to know more about CDP tools and the services. Also, make sure to check out handlife.com for more such resources and tutorials on Web3. And as always, be extremely cautious with mainnet operations. If you like this tutorial, make sure to give it a like, share, and follow as well. What would you build with Explorer 2? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for building with me today. See you in the next one.